Hey everyone, and welcome back. Before we jump in and start cleaning up a lot of these pages and bringing them to that really nice level of polish that we're all excited for, I really want to go in and talk about certain pages here and certain decisions that were made that we may stick with and that we may overturn. So let's jump in. So over here, we have the basic intro, we have onboarding screens. We are going to definitely swap out things like these illustrations. We don't have any components in here. So a lot of that stuff's going to be swapped out, and a lot of the imagery over here is going to be swapped out for our much newer imagery. We're also going to be, I think the onboarding is generally fine here, and we can probably clean that kind of stuff up. We'll show a lot of the flow in terms of what happens when you click a button, and we'll go through creating some interactive components and really cleaning up our design system in that respect when it comes to different interactions. So at the second layer, and I'm just going to zoom out so everyone can see here, we have the main navigation. So I originally was working on a navigation like this, and that's been changed now. So a lot of different things are going to change when it comes to having the profile at the top. So those types of changes are going to be made because we pivoted a bit and we decided that, okay, we want the card to be a very prominent part of this app where it's always kind of flashing on top when there's like something, full there. So we can leave that there, and we'll fix this. And one thing that we're going to notice is that we may need to create some new components in the future. So maybe that cart icon becomes a component where there's like a filled state with an item in there. So you can already start thinking about certain things that haven't really been thought about just yet. So just a thought there. We'll also need to think about hierarchy over here. Like, this is really messy, so we may need to clean that up a bit. Also need to think about certain states. Right now, this kind of needs a bit of polish and cleanup in terms of the wish list. I was thinking about using different colors for wish lists, but I think we're just gonna, tone that down a bit and let a lot of the featured like items over here at the bottom, do that talking. So don't want to detract too much from some of the content even within, and maybe bump up the buttons over here to be more primary action buttons. So you'll see us like use buttons more with more purpose and more meaning now. Going through some of the other items here that I'm seeing, like the UI elements, those are going to be swapped out for some other elements. We're probably not going to have a dedicated orders page just yet. We'll probably have to merge the profile and this profile page and this orders page. And I think that's fine because right now the orders page is, really empty. And I think most of the time people will just come to see their most active order, and we can probably stuff that at the very top here and hide the rest of the orders down here. So some decisions to be made here. I think generally the cart over here is going to be fine. There's not going to be many changes here in terms of the cards. And even the checkout, there's just going to be probably some typography changes, and we'll do some fine tuning on just like the color and typography. And if we go down to search, I think search is another one where there's going to be very minimal changes. We'll clean up over here in the structure. I like having this little area over here to be just like a full kind of input, no like bounding box or border around it. So looks really clean. So we'll probably fix that. And deploy some of our new cards over here. This is like really big and yellow, and I kind of have that new asset where it's kind of like see-through, so we can use that, and it'll be nice to see our search results as we throw them all in here. I think another thing is just thinking about even the filters. We're gonna have to clean that up. Right now they're a little messy. I like little filters like this, so we may need to think about making something like this a component. And then we have some of these general pages, so we'll probably merge the interest page as well based off of our new components and not needing to go back and forth to add interest and maybe having it in one page, so maybe a search within here. And then we have categories. I think this is pretty okay as is, so we'll clean that up. and the product page. So I think this is going to be fine. I like this version. We'll probably clean up the typography. Maybe we'll have to, make another component for like these option selectors, because I think they're really good as is. And we'll probably work on a prototype just specifically like this part, maybe not going into too much detail of this, even though you'll have the designs already, but we'll go into recreating this screen and polishing it up and going into the completion where we have a cart and then we have the checkout. So we'll do a whole prototype of this flow. So that is a general overview of our current status with these designs. You can grab these designs directly from the visual style and exploration resource, and you can just copy them by selecting all of them, Command C or Control C, and then pasting them into your file. I would definitely urge you to work in this design systems and styles file, because you'll have everything ready for you when it comes to your color styles, your image styles, your text styles, any grid related styles as well. So let's jump right in and get started.